Hello YouTube, it's me again, your boy Harsh. Today we are finally back again on YouTube. I know I haven't been streaming or posted a video in a while, and I just know that my loyal fans have just been starving for my content. So I'm finally back again. Forgive your boy because I have been on 2 different surgeries because I have about 27 different health problems. So that hence the break. As you can see, we are currently not on any game screen because today is going to be a different type of video. And for people who are new to this channel or just started watching, I want you to know that we are going to be a variety channel. It's not going to be just gaming. I'm hoping to branch out more. So if you want to see what type of other videos I make, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, today we are going to be doing a sort of educational / informational video that is different from the usual gaming videos that I do, even though it is related to gaming. All my information that I'll be giving you from this video is going to be done through my own research. I have done my own research for it on different various websites, also using ChatGPT, because why wouldn't you use ChatGPT, right? It basically just does everything for you. And even though it might not be the most reliable source, I think it is reliable enough for all of us, because I am not a historian, okay? So for you guys, your source is just going to be me, so you're just going to have to trust me. Or don't trust me, you know, that's your choice, of course. But what I'm going to be telling you in this video are things that I have learned and things that I have looked up on and researched, and these are the conclusions that I've come to. Okay, as you can see, now we are on a white screen. I didn't really need to be on my home screen. I just wanted to show off my fire wallpaper. But today we're going to be talking about FPS games specifically. When we are looking at a game, right, what are the main things that makes a person good at that game? So I've come up with these 3 categories, right? There's gonna be game sense. A lot of things comes under game sense. Things like map knowledge, things like maybe how to use your abilities, for example, and knowing where the players are going to be. All that is game sense, right? It's a very big group. So there's game sense, there's mechanics, which I'm talking about, not aim mechanics, right? Things like movement and other possible mechanics that you could have in FPS game. And the last part is arguably the biggest part about being good at an FPS game is your aim. Alright, that's going to be the focus of today's video. If you stay till the end of the video, I might have some tips for you on how you can just go absolutely crazy, because I'm going to teach you the secret to aim in this video. In order for me to explain this secret to you, I'm going to split aim up into these 4 different components. First up, we have flicking, which I think everyone knows about flicking, right? You all see those crazy clips of pro players hitting crazy flicks across half of their screen.
Knock on. Have they heard him? Seems to be the case. Finds the first shot, resets, knows where else it is. 1v1!
And we all love to see those, right? So flicking is a big part of aim. Next, we have crosshair placement, which is also another big part. Keeping your crosshair where the enemy's head is in most FPS games will win you a lot of gunfights. In games like Valorant, CSGO, and even in the more fast-paced shooter games, crosshair placement does play a bigger part than you think. Next up, we have precision. You could be able to flick really fast, but if you don't have the precision to be actually on the enemy's head after you flick, then what's the point of the flick, right? So precision is also another big part of aim. And the last part of aim is going to be tracking, right? So tracking is obviously going to be when there's a player on your screen and they're moving, or let's say they do a jump, and you being able to track in that semicircle type movement, right? That is the last part of aim. Okay, so before I hop into the rest of them, right, let's go deeper into crosshair placement first. Being aware where your crosshair is while you are playing these FPS games, whether it is at head level or whether you are aiming for the body. I will argue that crosshair placement requires more knowledge than it does require skill. Once you know the different heights, the different elevations, crosshair placement can be learned by anyone. Okay, so putting crosshair placement aside, 3 we have remaining are flicking, tracking, and precision. Once I go into these components, right, you will see that there is one factor that is actually common between all 3 of these components. Let's go into flicking, right? So firstly, there is target acquisition, which is when the enemy first pops up on your screen, you noticing the enemy, right? That is target acquisition, and you locking your eyes onto the target. That's target acquisition. The second step is moving your crosshair quickly to where the target is on your screen. So we have target acquisition, then we have actually moving your crosshair, and then there is the target confirmation, being that after you have already moved your mouse quickly, right, to where the target is, being able to confirm that your crosshair is actually on the target so that you can click, get the headshot and finish off the target. Now that I've broken down flicking into these 3 steps, right, you would notice that target acquisition and target confirmation, they both require you to react. So I've just dropped the bomb word here, react, so that you're going to notice that the key throughout the rest of these components is actually going to be your reaction time. In the first step, I said target acquisition, right? That takes reaction time. And then, and the final step, being able to confirm that your crosshair is actually on the target, that also takes reaction time. So you will notice as I go into these other aim components, right, that reaction time is actually a very common factor among all these different aim components. So I've done flicking, so let's go on to tracking. We go deeper into tracking. Obviously, we're not going to put into consideration the target acquisition, right? Because when we're talking about tracking, we're talking about an enemy already being on your screen. And when the enemy starts moving around, moving left and right, strafing left and right, then you being able to track, that's what is tracking, right? For tracking, we are just going to split it into being able to predict the enemy's movements and also being able to move your crosshair accordingly. I don't know how else to split tracking up into its basic components, but now that we split it up into these two, let's say for example, when an enemy on your screen is moving to the right, you are going to be predicting where his body or the player model is going to be moving and then swiping your hand to where the target is going, right? But if you actually really think about it, when you're tracking, let's say the enemy moves right, then he strafes and he goes the left instead. Don't you think that there is reaction time included there as well? And also, when they've switched directions, track back, you do need to confirm that your crosshair is on the target. So target confirmation actually comes into all of these aim components that I've spoken about previously. And target confirmation takes, guess what, is reaction time. For flicking, you need reaction time. For tracking, you also need reaction time again. The last component is precision. And it's going to seem like I'm overlapping multiple points here, right? Because fundamentally, when you break all these down, it really just does come down to the same few things. So for precision, it's about being able to move your mouse to exactly where you want it to do, right? Hand-eye coordination is going to play a part. And hand-eye coordination can be improved. But of course, even for precision, it requires target confirmation again. So I've showed you that because of target confirmation, reaction time actually plays a part in every single one of these aspects of aiming. So what you really need to be a good FPS player is actually just a really good reaction time. The truth about aim, being good at aiming and having good aim is all about reaction time. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to use myself as an example as well. I recently hit diamond rank on Valorant, right? I'm a Valorant diamond rank player, and in Overwatch I'm hard stuck silver. For the sake of this video, I myself actually went on the Human Benchmark website, and if you don't know the website, I'm going to leave it down in the description below. I did 50 attempts, right? Because the more attempts you do, obviously you're going to get a better result, and my reaction time actually comes out to be 232 milliseconds, right? So I'll pull up the graph from the website right up here somewhere. Whenever I'm playing these games, right, player appears on my screen, I started to think about what's the reason for me losing all these fights unreasonably even when I have an advantage. And that's when it hit me that the disadvantage I have is my reaction time. And when you take into account that I'm supposed to be at my peak or prime age. I'm about 20 years old, so my reaction time is supposed to be, it's not gonna get any better, right? So mine should actually be much higher on the graph than it currently is right now. I'd like to think that that is the reason why I'm so bad at all these FPS games and I cannot improve anymore, because my reaction time is the thing that's holding me back. So if you don't think that reaction time matters, right? I just showed you my reaction time, 232 milliseconds. The average pro player reaction time is around 155 milliseconds. Can you see the difference between their reaction time? You might think 0.08 seconds does not mean a lot, but the fact that all these pro players have such a high reaction time, I don't think it's just a coincidence. You need to have an amazing reaction time to be good at these games, and that's the point I'm getting at in this video. So now that I've told you that reaction time is actually the biggest part of aim, right, I'm going to tell you why it isn't your fault. While there are many factors that affect your reaction time. Every human being has a biological ceiling for how high your reaction time can go. You could have hours and hours playing FPS games, and you could do all these different trainings for the components of aim that I said, like flicking, tracking, and precision. You could train all these things, but under all these things also comes reaction time. And reaction time is limited by your own biological ceiling, which is why I say that it isn't your fault or my fault why we are so bad at aiming. Our reaction time just happens to have a really low ceiling compared to all these other good players. So now that I've told you about this reaction time ceiling that we all have, I told you that it cannot be improved, which is also partially true, right? Because you cannot raise this ceiling. However, I am finally at the part of the video where I tell you how exactly you are going to make your reaction time hit this ceiling, because there are many other factors that can affect your reaction time. If you follow all these tips that I'm telling you, I guarantee you, without training, without any more practice, just by maximizing your reaction time, your skill level in these games will get so much better. The first thing that you're gonna need for your reaction time is your 8 hours of rest every night. If you're not rested, you don't have enough sleep, you're going to be more fatigued, and your reaction time is going to be slower. So before you play your games every night, try sleeping properly and see maybe you do well the next day, right? Other than sleeping well, there is also staying hydrated. Always keep your water bottle or whatever you need to drink beside you while you're playing games, and stay hydrated at all times, right? Minimum 2 liters of water per day. So these stats I'm telling you, you have to follow them every day, because if I just sleep well for one night, my reaction time might improve, but then if I don't sleep well again the next night, my reaction time is going to go back down. So if you want your reaction time to stay consistently high, you're going to need to do these things that I'm telling you consistently. Thirdly, it is a form of training, but it's not actually a form of aim training, so I'm going to include this as well, which is actually getting some exercise, getting your body active, keeping your cardio good as well, will actually help you improve your reaction time as well. And finally, it's actually your diet. We don't want all these temporary reaction time boosters and things like caffeine, and you see some of the pro players, they like to be drinking G Fuel or whatever energy drink it is they like to be drinking. These things just give you a temporary boost in your reaction time. But if you want to have your reaction time at the ceiling that I mentioned previously all the time, you're going to need to have a good diet consistently, right? Get in your proteins, get in your vegetables, get in your minerals, get in your vitamins. All these things you need. Having a good balanced diet will actually help to improve your reaction time. So those are the 4 things and the 4 tips I have for you to maximize your reaction time. And I can guarantee you, right, if you don't believe any of the thing I said, and you don't believe how much reaction time actually plays a part in aim, you can just try this for a few days and just hop on your game as per normal, and I will guarantee that you yourself will see the results, because reaction time just matters that much in FPS games. So that's the secret. I've given it to you. We've come to the end of the video. If you think that this informational or educational type of video was interesting for you, please leave a like below or give me a comment on what else you would like me to research on for you guys, so that you guys don't have to put in the work. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials, my TikTok and my Twitch. I will be streaming some days, sometimes, and you can check out the stream schedule that I have on Twitch. Follow me there and come and catch me when I'm live. Otherwise, that's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching.